Thank you for coming back and joining me. My name is Lisa, and this is She Persisted Budgeting and Saving. Today, we're doing a bit of a vulnerable video. This is going to be my debt confession video, so I hope you join me on my debt payoff journey. So this stack of items right here, it is my budget by paycheck workbook from the Budget Mom. I just wanted to share with you. So I've been really focusing on this since 2021. And these are faithfully every year I went through all of these. So you have 21, 22, 23. And then she stopped making the smaller ones. And I went to the big one. And that was a bit of a learning curve. But this is actually where, and this is kind of how I do my budget every month. And I'll share that in a different video with you. But what I wanted to share here was my starting debt. I started with $46,000. And then, as some of you know from a previous video, is I had to purchase a vehicle. So my total debt in 24, I had gotten it down to, let's see, I'm going to do the math. So 46,000 minus 24,287. So I was down to 21,713, I believe. And then I had to buy the vehicle. So that's why I'm back up. So that is my starting goal. My starting point is 46,000. And I should probably write that down somewhere else. But the only reason I'm sharing this is so you know where I started from. And this is my 2025. So as you can see, she offered a smaller version. Still not the little booklets, because this is a big thing to carry around. But I'm getting there. Hopefully going to come back to the smaller ones. But what I wanted to share with you guys is this. So what I did was I created a spreadsheet, and this is my debt. And I'm gonna bring you in a little just so you can see it, and hopefully I can not get it out of frame. This is actually full confession. This is the second time I'm recording this, because the first one I was all out of frame, and I really want to share, and I want understanding. So I started with 46,000 in 20, well, it was really 21. And then by 24, I still had 33,000. Let me find that again. Sorry, I should have written this down earlier. 33,525, and that was with the addition of a car. This right here. So in 24, the car, as I told you, was like 24,000. The beginning or the end of 24, it was down to 16. I'm just making sure you guys can still see all of this. It was down to 16. So I had a goal at the beginning of 25 to pay off $31,197.57. So these were my cards. These were my debts that I had to pay. This was at 6.25%. Really the bane of my existence. I hated the fact that I had a car payment after not having a car payment, working so hard to pay off a car, and here I was back with a car payment. For those of you in the military or in the government, a TSP loan, I had these to renovate my kitchen in 2020. So they were, really at the tail end of paying them off. My city card was to pay for my property tax. My Discover card was, I don't remember what all, that was probably just shopping, probably a lot of Etsy, as well as the PayPal, a lot of Etsy going on. And my Saver card was my homeowner's insurance. And you'll see it says Saver and Amex. At the time, it was just Saver. So then in May, this is what my budget looked like, or my debt looked like. And you're probably thinking, how did it got bigger? What happened? Yes, it got bigger. And I had been really focused on my debt. So now my goal was $39,000. This was paid off. It's grayed out. And the reason it's paid off is because it's over here now, and it's a 0% credit card. But then there's two, these are added. Why were these added? Well, this one was added just to pay Costco stuff, Costco shopping. I added my teenager to this card so he could use it, and the majority of it was his, or is his. But Southwest was car insurance. And you guys know, having a teenage son, my car insurance was huge. So that's what this card was for. And again, all of these are 0%. This is 0% now. It was 6.25% as a car loan. And that's why I transferred it over. But in order to transfer it, I had to do like a 3-way swap. So I had to, that's why you'll see this number is like I paid 103% of my goal, is because I added the cash that I needed to transfer this to a third party and then do a balance transfer from Navy Federal credit card to this third party. So it took about 2 weeks to get all of the monies transferred, this paid off, get my title, and now it is a credit card debt. So that was where I was at. I needed $22,000 to finish paying it off in May. So this is where, as of yesterday, I am, and I'm gonna cover this because I walked you through it. So if you notice, my goal went up. And why did it go up? Well, it went up because my Saver credit card went up, because I used this again for I believe this was my it was my homeowner's insurance. So again, I'm just kicking the can down the road. I'm not paying for them in cash. I'm paying for it on 0% credit cards. And then I'm wondering why I can't save the money in order not to have to put it on a credit card. So in May, when I saw this and I saw that everything had gone up, my goal had gone up, even though I understand why and it's 0%, I froze all of my cards so that nothing else could be charged to them. I don't want to be on this cycle anymore. I don't want to keep going and still paying off, because you'll see, let me make sure you'll see, I've already paid off $23,000 this year in debt. And this is not included in that equation. So it's a lot of money, of my money, hard-earned money that's going out when it doesn't have to. So what I said is that I set a goal. My original goal was, my hope was to have it paid off in second quarter so that I could have the third and fourth quarter to focus on this car. But I was putting so much pressure on myself, so much pressure that wasn't needed. It wasn't being asked of me. I was just trying to force myself and causing myself a lot of grief and a lot of anxiety. So I sat and I talked with Andra from the Traveling and Savings Chief, her and Donna from Donna Powered by Creativity, and Steph from Budget with Mama Bear, and really gave myself grace and came up with a new plan. And I'm going to bring in, I call this my Bible. This is really where I house everything. And it's like, this is my HOP, my savings challenges. All of these sheets are from Donna Powered by Creativity. She has a tracker for credit card debts. And she has a credit card sheet for every, I used it for every single debt that I have. The problem with that is I updated it. I updated this because hers is just payments. Well, I have charges, and like these I charged, I'm just making sure you guys can still see. These are flights and to see my grandkids. So this was my list of, these are my 0%. But this is Etsy. Like, do I need to spend any more on Etsy? Well, clearly I do, because I spent another $212. But I don't need to. And Hell of a Plan, she came out, I spent enough. So right, that's got to stop. The buying has to stop. And you guys will see those buys. You have seen those buys in my July no spend tracker. That's what those buys were for. So this is my debt payoff plan, and I'm gonna send you out a little just to make sure everything's in frame. Yes. So this is what I did. I created this. This is actually one of Donna's forms, and I just changed the top part. This was her. It's a savings form, and I just overlaid the top part so that I could use it as a debt payoff plan, because I really liked the way she had set it up. So these were my accounts. These were all of these accounts. So you can see, this is my Costco, this is my PayPal, this is my Discover 2, my Southwest, my Saver, and my Navy Federal. So what I decided to do, and after our conversations and me going back and forth with the stress that I was causing myself, I really sat back and thought, okay, I'm going to give myself an amount. And that's what you'll see this line here, this $1,500. That's how much I am putting from my budget to my debt. I know this is going to be a weird way to think of it, because I'm not even looking at the minimum payments for the debt. I'm looking at how much can I comfortably dedicate to my debt. And that's a different model than any other budgeter that I have seen. But it works for me, or it is working for me, I should say. So I get paid twice a month. So this is really $750 and $750. And that might be, you might be thinking, there's no way I can't do that. And I'm not asking you to do that. All I'm asking you to do is look at the process that I use and see if this process can work for you. If your process and your debt picture is, you can only put $200 a month and you get paid twice a month, then it's $100 here and $100 here. And then you split it between what you have to pay and what your priority is. So you can see here, Southwest was my number one priority. And then I went to my Costco. So you might be thinking, well, why did you only put $100 here if you have $1,500 and this was your priority and you owed $1,098? making sure you guys can still see everything. It's because of this $1,000 right here. This was my debt binder. That's why you see the little asterisk between those two. Is my quarterly. So every quarter I've been doing a debt binder. And so this was my B debt binder. And when I finished it in June, I had $1,000 and that paid off Southwest. So you can see there's no more payments. So that card is sitting at 0. Costco, I did the same thing, but I did it because I put it in July, but it was really like the end of June, $574. Part of that came from my binder, but the majority of it came from Danny's member bingo, Save with Judy, her monthly roll and save for her members, and then Budget with Carly's second quarter moon phase challenge. So I put all of those together and I made an extra $574 and an extra $40 payment to my third goal. So that's the end of June was really great to get my debt under control. So I'm going to bring you back to the spreadsheet and I'll put this out for right now. So all of these are paid off. They're all grayed out. They're all at 0%. I mean, at $0, 100% paid off. So these are the 4 that I have left to pay. And these 3 are what I wanted to pay by my birthday. By the end of October, I want to have these paid off. Well, down here you'll see, and I wrote this when I recorded it the first time, so you'll get it all in one shot. This Discover 2 is 0% until February. My PayPal is 0% until December. My Saver, which is now Amex, I transferred them. I transferred the $5,000 from Saver to a 0% American Express for like, I don't know, 2 years, 18 months, something like that. The 0% is not done until 27. And then use that for my homeowner's insurance. Use my American Express. That's why it went up to the 8,000 from the 5,000. So, and then I have Navy Federal, and it is 0% until March of 26. So what I decided to do when I was prepping for this, to lay all my cards out on the table for you guys, was I really think I'm going to still keep PayPal as the first one. Hopefully I can get that little bit paid off. But I'm going to swap, and I'm no longer going to focus on the American Express card just because it's 0% for so long. I have so much time to pay that off. But I am going to focus on my car because, again, bane of my existence. I'm still upset that I had to buy a new car in the first place. So that is really my goal. My second goal is to pay that off. Oh, I'm sorry. You're sitting here thinking, well, why do you? So I have $767 of my Discover 2. So when I got paid on Wednesday, I got my bonus from work. And so this is 0%. The payment comes out Monday. So that one's already gone. So I just have these 3 left. And I want to get this one done by my birthday. If I could get that done by my birthday, that would be, chef's kiss. I'm not planning on that, but I am planning to have that done by December. Especially now with me, so this will change a little. I will have to change that, and that is the good part of lamination, is I'm going to just erase this and start over. So I'm going to take this 700 out because I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to use part of my 1500. I'm not going to use my 1500 for that. So this will be paid off. So I'm going to come down here and this is going to be $767 of an extra payment. But that payment is coming from my bonus, right? It's not out of the $1,500 that I have. So Southwest and Discover are all at 0 and will stay at 0. So now between the 1,500, I know my American Express, like the minimum that I have to pay for American Express is like 40. I'm going to pay probably 100. I like round numbers. I want to put, so let's do math together. So 1,500, so I have 1,400. So if I paid $1,000 to my Navy Federal, I could pay $400 to PayPal. And that $400, so $947.05 minus $400 means I have $547.05. And I'm going to put that all in September. $547.05. That way I know. So I'm going to still do 100. I'm still going to do 100 for American Express. And I'm going to put that 100 all the way out. So now I know I have $547.05 plus the 100. So I have $647 minus the $1,500 I want to put towards it. So in September, I can make a $852.95 payment. So now this is gone. So the only thing I have left is these two debts. So I can start making $1,400 payments to my car. To that Navy Federal loan in December. So let's see if I owe $12,600 now and I make a $1,000 payment, I make an $852.95 and I make $1,400 and I make $1,400 and I make $1,400. So I will be at $6,547.05 to carry out the year. Now that, all of this does not include my debt binder. That's why a debt binder is such a good motivating tool. So I need to come up with $6,547 before March. That is my deadline. I have until March to figure out how to pay that off. So I could potentially get another tax refund, potentially in February. That could take out a chunk of that. But what I'm going to focus on is that debt binder. And my first debt binder got me $1,500. I know that's not enough. But this, my new debt binder, my Gilmore Girl debt binder, I am going to take it from, I started it in July, and it'll probably go out. It is Gilmore Girls after all. It'll probably go out until October or November, because I have so much in there, so many challenges that thankfully all of you fantastic creators have given me. Given the world. I just bought them. So that is where my focus is to get this Navy Federal paid off. And if push comes to shove, I will have to transfer this to 0%. I will not pay interest anymore for this car. So anyway, that's where I'm at. That is my debt confession, my debt journey. I hope you will come along with me, be part of my team to get this knocked out. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, I'm all ears. We're all in this together. We're all on some type of journey, and we've all had, some things in our past that have caused us to be in debt. Well, I'm going to break that cycle. I'm not going to live in this debt payoff cycle any longer. So this is really motivating for me, putting these all where I can see all of the debt that I've paid off for the year, and now I only have these 4 left, is very motivating. So I hope this motivates you. I hope it gets you to thinking of a different way to look at your debt, a different way to pay off your debt. Again, if you have any questions about my process or want to talk further, you can email me. My email is in my description box. It's ShePersistedbudgeting@gmail.com. I'd be more than happy to talk through your budgeting and your debt cycle. Okay. I'm recording this on Saturday morning. I will edit it. Hopefully not too much editing. I hope I hope you can see it all. But you'll see this Sunday. And again, be kind. This was very vulnerable for me to share. So take care of one another, and I will talk to you soon.